In 1589, William Lee invented a machine. It could knit stockings. He traveled to London to show Queen Elizabeth, but the Queen refused him.
He expected a patent. He expected a reward. He expected to be celebrated as the man who freed thousands of hands from slow, painful work. The Queen refused him. She looked at his machine and she said no. Her reason was simple, and she said it to his face. She was thinking of her subjects who knitted by hand. The machine, she told him, would take their bread.
So William Lee got nothing. He died poor. His invention was treated as a threat.
And the people he was supposed to have ruined? Within a few generations, England had more textile workers than ever before in its history. That is not a coincidence. That is a pattern. Every time a new technology has arrived that could do what humans do faster, cheaper, better, the same fear has arrived with it. And almost every time, the fear has been wrong in exactly the same way. Not wrong about the disruption. The disruption is real. People do lose work. Whole trades do vanish. Wrong about the ending. So before you decide what artificial intelligence is going to do to your future, it is worth asking a very simple question. One almost nobody asks. Has the world ever done this before? It has. Many times.
And history has already told us how this ends. Welcome to AI Frontier.
Here is the thing about technological panic. It always feels new. It always feels like this time is different. And it has felt that way every single time. In 1811, in the textile towns of northern England, a group of workers began breaking machines. They smashed the mechanical looms that were replacing skilled weavers. We remember them today by the name they were given, the Luddites. We use that word now as an insult. A Luddite is someone too stupid to understand progress. But that is not who they were. The Luddites were not confused. They were skilled craftsmen watching a machine do in hours what had taken them years to learn. They were not wrong that the looms would take their jobs. The looms did take their jobs. What they got wrong was everything that came after. Because here is the part the story always leaves out. The same machines that destroyed the hand-weaving trade created an entirely new economy around themselves. Factories needed builders. Machines needed engineers. Cloth needed sellers, shippers, designers, merchants. Cities grew. Wages, over the long run, rose. Within one lifetime, the standard of living of the average British worker began climbing in a way no human society had ever seen before. The weavers were right about the loom. They were wrong about the world. And this is not one story. It is the only story. The printing press, in the 15th century, was supposed to destroy the scribes. The men who copied books by hand were furious. And the scribes did disappear. But the press did not reduce the amount of writing in the world. It exploded it. It created authors, editors, publishers, librarians, journalists, whole categories of work that could not have existed before. The automobile was supposed to ruin everyone who worked with horses. The stable hands, the carriage makers, the blacksmiths. And it did. Those jobs largely vanished. But the car created road builders, mechanics, oil workers, traffic engineers, and entire suburbs full of people who would never have had those homes otherwise. The same shape over and over. Old work dies. New work is born. And almost always, there is more of it than before. Now, if the pattern is this clear, why does the fear come back every single time? Because of something economists call the visible and the invisible. The job that is destroyed is visible. You can see it. You can name the person who lost it. You can point at the factory that closed. The loss has a face. The jobs that get created are invisible. They do not exist yet. Nobody can point at them, because nobody has invented them. You cannot interview a web developer in 1990. You cannot photograph a solar technician in 1950. The future has no face to put on a poster. So the loss always looks bigger than the gain. Not because it is. Because it is easier to see. Consider the bank teller. When the automated teller machine, the ATM, arrived in the 1970s, the obvious prediction was that it would wipe out bank tellers. The machine did the teller's main job. Why would a bank keep paying people? Here is what actually happened. The number of bank tellers in the United States did not collapse. For decades, it grew. Because the ATM made running a bank branch cheaper. Cheaper branches meant banks opened more of them. More branches meant they needed more staff, not to count cash, but to do the things machines could not: sell, advise, solve problems, build relationships. The machine did not replace the worker. It changed what the worker was for. And that is the single most important idea in this entire video, so hold on to it. Technology rarely replaces a whole human being. It replaces a task. And when it takes the task, it almost always leaves the human standing next to a more valuable version of the same job. The teller stopped counting cash and started advising customers. The accountant stopped adding columns by hand and started interpreting what the numbers meant. The photographer stopped mixing chemicals in a darkroom and started shooting 10 times as many images for 10 times as many clients. Take the task. Free the human. That is the move history makes, again and again. Now, I want to be honest with you, because honesty is the entire point of this channel. There is a serious argument that artificial intelligence is not like the loom or the ATM. And it deserves a real answer, not a comfortable one. The argument goes like this. Every past technology automated a specific thing. The loom automated weaving. The car automated travel. The calculator automated arithmetic. Each one took one task and left the rest of human ability untouched. Artificial intelligence, the argument says, is not a tool for one task. It is a tool for thinking itself. And thinking was the thing humans always escaped into. When the machine took our hands, we used our minds. But what happens when the machine comes for the mind? That is a fair question. It is the strongest version of the fear. And I am not going to pretend it away. But here is what that argument quietly assumes, and where it starts to fall apart. It assumes that intelligence is one single thing. That if a machine can do some kinds of thinking, it can do all of them. That is not what we are seeing. The artificial intelligence we have built is astonishing at a specific kind of work. Pattern recognition. Prediction. Summarizing. Generating plausible text and images from enormous amounts of past data. It is, in a sense, the greatest tool for processing the already known that has ever existed. But there are kinds of human capability it does not touch at all. Judgment under genuine uncertainty. Taking responsibility for a decision. Knowing which problem is worth solving in the first place. Earning another person's trust. Caring whether the answer is true. A machine can write you 1,000 business plans. It cannot decide which one you should bet your life on. It can draft a contract. It cannot be the person who is accountable when it goes wrong. It can generate art. It cannot want to make it. The mind did not turn out to be one thing the machine could swallow whole. It turned out to be many things. And the machine is brilliant at some and absent from others. So is AI different? Yes. In degree. It automates more, and faster, than anything before it. But the shape of the story, task taken, human freed, new work born, that shape has not broken. It has just sped up. So if this has happened before, the most useful question is not, will there be jobs? History is fairly clear that there will be. The useful question is, who came out ahead, and why? Look back at any technological revolution, and the people who thrived were never the ones who were simply best at the old task. The fastest hand weaver did not win the Industrial Revolution. The best horsegroom did not win the age of the automobile. The people who came out ahead did one of three things. Watch for this pattern, because it is about to matter to you personally. First, some of them moved up the ladder of the same skill. The scribe who could read and write did not vanish. The ones who adapted became the editors and printers and authors of the new age. They took the deeper part of their skill, not the copying, but the understanding of language, and carried it upward into the new world. Second, some of them learned to run the machine instead of competing with it. When looms arrived, the weaver who learned to operate, maintain, and manage a room full of looms out-earned the one who kept weaving by hand. The machine was not their replacement. It was their multiplier. Third, and this is the quiet one, some of them moved toward the things the machine made more valuable, not less. As goods became cheap and mass-produced, handmade became precious. As information became infinite, trust became scarce. As answers became free, knowing the right question became the rare skill. Notice that none of these three required being a genius. They required a willingness to let go of the specific task you happen to be good at, and to hold on to the deeper human ability underneath it. The weaver's real skill was never the weaving. It was care, attention, and an eye for quality. Those transferred. The hand motion did not. And that is the lesson sitting under 300 years of history. Your job is a task. Your value is not. The task can be automated. The value, judgment, trust, taste, responsibility, the ability to care about getting it right moves with you into whatever comes next, if you let it. The people who suffered most in every revolution were not the ones whose tasks were automated. Everyone's task gets automated eventually. They were the ones who defined themselves entirely by the task, and refused to move when the ground did. Now here is where I will not lie to you, because the optimistic story has a real catch, and pretending otherwise would make this channel worthless. History says it works out. History does not say it works out painlessly. And it does not say it works out for everyone. When the looms came, the transition took roughly a generation. For the weaver who was 40 years old when the machine arrived, your grandchildren will be richer than you ever were, was not much comfort. The long-run gain was real. So was the short-run suffering. Both things are true at once, and any honest account has to hold both. The danger of artificial intelligence is not that it ends human work forever. The historical record argues strongly against that. The real danger is the speed of the transition, and who is left to absorb the shock. If the new work arrives slower than the old work disappears, there is a gap. And people fall into that gap. That is not a machine problem. That is a human choice about how we handle the people in between, whether we retrain them, support them, and build the bridges to the next thing, or whether we let them fall and call it progress. That part is not decided by the technology. It is decided by us. By policy. By companies. By whether the people who capture the gains are willing to share the cost of the transition. So the fear is not entirely wrong. It is just aimed at the wrong target. The thing to fear was never the machine. It was always our choice about what to do with the people the machine displaces. The loom did not decide how the weavers were treated. People did. The same is true now. So let me leave you with the lesson 3 centuries of disruption keep repeating. The machines have always done the tasks. The humans have always kept the meaning. And every time we panicked that the new tool would make us obsolete, we were really just failing to imagine the work it would create, work we are now glad exists, work most of us would not trade away. That does not mean it is safe. It means it is survivable. There is a difference, and the difference is what you do next. Do not be the weaver who defines himself by the loom. Be the one who remembers that the real skill was never in his hands. It was in his judgment, his eye, his care. Those move with you. If this gave you a way to think about the future that was not panic and was not blind hype, then there is one more piece to this story you should see.
Because there is a question we have not answered yet. We have talked about the people whose jobs change, but what about the children growing up right now? The first generation that will never know a world without this technology?
What does it do to a mind that is raised alongside an intelligence like this from birth? That is the next video on this channel. And it might be the most important one yet. The machines are not deciding what comes next. We still are.